What's up, YouTube? It's Deborah with Sew in the Sanctuary. It's Sunday, and it's been kind of a rainy day today. We've been mostly inside, just doing some things that we needed to get done indoors today. And so I just wanted to hop on real quick and kind of share with you some sides that we're going to be preparing for dinner tonight. So Robbie has actually been cooking a chicken on the smoker, and it should be done hopefully momentarily. So I thought, gosh, I better get busy doing some sides. So we are gonna have butternut squash, and this is something that we absolutely love. We just we grew some this past summer in our garden, and I would cut it up and roast it in our oven, and everyone loved it. It was a big hit in our house. So that's what we're gonna do for our side. So just to kind of share with you what we're doing, I'm cutting the ends off. As you can see, there's seeds, so we've got to get the seeds out. But I like to cut towards the end first. And I take this section, and for my family, it's pretty much, this is all we really need for just the four of us. So I just cut it down the middle, like so, and I'm just gonna cut it into cubes. And these little bad boys are tough to cut, so when you do it, you better have a pretty big knife. And then I'm going to cut it down again in the center. This one's really tough. And then I'm just going to cube it like so. And then I'm going to put it in my bowl like that. And I'm going to cube this one, and then I'm gonna cut them even more, just so they're little bite-sized pieces. So it's always interesting to me how we have things planned in our head, and then of course God takes over and decides things are going to go a little bit different for us. So we had originally planned on building some stairs in our outdoor shop. That's an outdoor project that we've got to start tackling here pretty soon. We just had a shop that we have built, and we've got to get some stairs because the way that the land is, you have to actually step down into the shop. And so right now we just have the door, and when you open the door, literally there's quite a fall. So we've got to get some stairs built, and then we're going to start the electrical process. So we had this great idea of getting all of that accomplished, but then of course Mother Nature took over, and it's been a pretty rainy weekend. So we've just mainly been indoors today doing some projects around here. I was like getting some floors cleaned, some carpets cleaned. So we did church, had a nice lunch together, came home, did some steam cleaning on the carpets, and I bathed my dogs because they needed some attention. And then we're actually going to do these sides, and then we're going to do the trailer. So we do the trailer for trick-or-treating. We actually do up the trailer, we put hay bales on the trailer, and then we decorate it. The kids like to make it kind of spooky feeling, so we're gonna do that after we do our sides. So here you can see we have our butternut squash. I have cut it up into little cubes, placed it in my bowl. Now, what I do next generally is I take usually I use like an olive oil, but we don't have any olive oil, so I'm just gonna use this grapeseed oil. And basically it's okay. All we need is just to kind of get a nice little texture of oil over it to kind of help make the potatoes moist, so that the, not potatoes, but the butternut squash moist, so that it can, I guess, kind of soak in all of the spices that we're gonna be adding in just a few moments. So I just top it with a little bit of oil, and then I stir it to kind of coat that oil on all of the butternut squash. Just kind of toss it around like so. Now, butternut squash, I absolutely love butternut squash in like soups. With winter coming up, butternut squash is going to be a staple in our house. I was hoping this past summer that we were going to produce more of it because I was wanting to freeze it in hopes of having lots of it this winter, but it didn't work out that way, so we'll try again next year. But this particular season for our garden was hit and miss. We did really well with like peppers, and we did jalapeno peppers, we did bell peppers. We were very successful with our tomatoes, although they did come later in the season than we had hoped. We did really well with some cantaloupes and some watermelons. We produced lots and lots of okra. But the squash, believe it or not, we had butternut squash and yellow squash and a Spanish kind of squash. And unfortunately, those did not produce well. Our cucumbers and our zucchinis did, but for whatever reason, our squash didn't do so hot. So that was kind of a bummer, especially since I love the butternut. But we'll just buy it at our local grocery store and just try to freeze some of it that way. But we just coat it really well with our oil, and then we're going to take some salt, and we like to do the Himalaya salt, the Himalaya sea salt, and then we do our peppercorn salt. I'm sorry, pepper. We do our peppercorn pepper, and it's really however much you want to do for taste. And then we also add garlic. So let me grab the garlic. And we happen to be really garlic, like big time garlic lovers in our house. So we tend to go a little bit more with our garlic. But again, just put as much as you think you would want. And then just make sure it's tossed really well. And then sometimes I put rosemary on it or whatever else you think would be good. But for tonight's dinner, I think I'm just going to do it with the garlic, salt, and pepper and make it real easy. So once I have it tossed really well in our bowl, I have my pan and I've put down some aluminum foil. I'm just going to pour it into my pan and just kind of spread it out evenly so that it can cook pretty easily. And my timer just went off on the oven for 350. So I'm going to pop this in the oven for 350, and I'm just going to basically probably cook it for maybe, gosh, I usually do it, I think, for like 35 minutes and then check on it. And then I want it to be where I can just touch it with my fork and it go in pretty easily. So I'm going to go ahead and put this bad boy in the oven. I'm going to set my timer for 35 minutes, and then I'll check back in about 35 and see how it's doing. All right, so while that's cooking in the oven, I'm going to do a real quick cleanup. Since I have this extra butternut squash left over, I'm going to go ahead and de-seed this so that I can use it in a soup later on this week. So I'm going to use my bowl that I just had, and I'm just going to get rid of our seeds. I've cut down the middle, and I'm going to get rid of our seeds. And then I'm just going to store it in a Ziploc bag so that later on when I do our soup, I like to do lots of soup. Like I said a moment ago, I like to do lots of soup in the winter. And when I do soup, I usually tend to make lots. I do a pretty big bulk pot of it so that I can do some freezing. So that just makes it easy for whenever it's a day that maybe I come home from work and I'm pretty tired, or I don't have any ideas for dinner in mind. I can just set out a soup that morning, let it thaw out all day, and then when I get home, boom, dinner's ready. So all I have to do is pop it on the stove and let it get warm. So easy for everybody and a good homemade dinner. We try to do that. We have to do that a lot, actually, with freezer meals and kind of grab and go in the morning, where we can just grab something, set it out so that when we get home we can just go. Especially since we tend to do ball games a lot. We have a son who's in soccer, a son who's in baseball, so we're having to do a lot of pre-planning ahead of time, make our meals so that we have it the night of. And it tends to work out pretty well for us. All right, so we're gonna put this in the fridge, and that way we'll have it for later this week. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do for dinner prep is I'm actually gonna make us some little bowls of salad. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the salads in these little glass jars. And then I'm gonna put the tops on top. And then that way, boom, it's ready so that whenever dinner is served, I just grab these out of the fridge and it's already been done. So I know my husband and I, we like to do salad for sure. So I'm gonna make him one. And I'm gonna make me one, and then I'm just gonna make another one that my kids can split.
Ready. We gotta get chicken off first.
Sometimes you're gonna get the chicken off?
Yeah, it's ready.
All right, so chicken's ready. He's gonna grab it off the grill. That way we'll be eating dinner at a decent time tonight. You need help, babe?
I got it.
All right, so he's getting the chicken off of the grill, and tonight's not very fancy, so I'm just gonna cut up some little peppers, and I'm gonna probably put some cheese in these salads. And I did pick up these little savory keto salad toppings. I've not had these before, but they looked pretty good, so we're gonna give those a try. And then I have some pepper jack cheese that I'm going to top these with. So we're gonna cut up some peppers. I love these little peppers that you can buy, the little sweet peppers. So we're gonna cut these up. These are little red ones. So we're gonna cut those up and put in our salads. That way we have those ready to go. I have these little cheese sticks. These happen to be the pepper jack cheese sticks. We're gonna cut these up. We're gonna throw in our salads. Ooh, chicken looks really good. So he just pulled the chicken off. Here, I can make room, babe. You get it?
Got it, right there.
All right, looks good.
All right, we're gonna pull the trailer.
I'm gonna show you this. You're gonna pull the trailer?
Yeah.
All right, so they're actually gonna get the trailer ready because we're gonna decorate it. But this is the chicken that he pulled off just now. It looks nice and juicy, a little bit of a crisp. Easy dinner tonight. Looks so good. All right, so we're gonna finish doing some more cheese. Gonna cut these up like so, throw them in the salad. What else do we want? These little savory ketos happen to be little salad toppings. They're little walnuts. So that'll be good. Something a little crunchy. And then we're gonna top it off with some mozzarella, cheese, and then I'm gonna throw in these little bacon bits that I purchased from the local grocery store. So here we have it. Nice and easy little pre-made salads. Gonna put the lids on these bad boys. I'm gonna pile them up like so. Gonna stack them up. So here we have our salads ready for dinner. We have our butternut squash in the oven cooking for maybe 35 minutes or so. And we have our yummy chicken. So I'm gonna wrap that in some foil. I'm gonna do some cleanup real quick, and then we'll see you out in the shop or in the garage. We're gonna do some trailer decorating for trick-or-treating. All right, so I just got back down from the attic. They're coming in with the trailer. I found some tombstones, so that'll be fun. Got some zip ties to tie stuff on with. Hey guys. We got some lights, some danger tape, and I'm gonna see what else we got in this container. Here's one that says, beware. Ooh, this is scary.
Oh my god.
All right. All right, we are done with our trailer decorating. What you think?
It's cool.
Yeah? All right, let's show them, Graham. We've got our lights. We've got our hay bales. What's your favorite part, boys?
I like.
Yep.
It's gonna be on a trailer.
We're gonna put our little,
Right on the trailer.
we're gonna put our little balloon on the
Wait,
trailer.
Mom.
All right, what's your favorite part, Graham?
Fred the cat.
Fred the cat. All right, so we have Fred the cat right here beside his tombstone. We have our lights. We have all the things. We are ready for Halloween. Good job, babe. We have our little monsters hanging up here on the top. Pretty scary. Robbie was able to hook up some lights for us
This is Fred's sister.
to the tractor.
This is Fred's sister.
Fred's sister's
Fred's
still alive?
sister's, she's still alive? Ooh, Fred's sister's still alive. All right, we've got our hay bales, we've got our lights. We're gonna put our little glowing balloons up.
I dressed them up.
We're gonna have a good time. I think we're ready for some trick-or-treating tomorrow, aren't we, boys? All right, so we hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. We hope you have a great, happy Halloween. And we hope, as always, that you are sowing your seed for your sanctuary. Until next time, we'll see you later. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye, guys.